Hi. I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to make this video or not, but it's sort of in a way like a sort of kind of uh, therapeutic way for me to dump the stuff out of my head and just sort of throw it out into the universe and then, you know, um, just whatever, like thereby be able to let it go after that once I've like dumped it out of my head. And I'm just, I'm finding today that I have better mental wherewithal to be able to work. I've got a lot of work ahead of me today. It's Sunday, February 5th, and it's about 11:21 a.m. I started at about 9, and I'm going to be going all day. And so I'm really not, mind dumping as a result, like to try to elicit a response. It's I don't really have anybody else to talk to about it, so I prefer to talk to anonymous strangers if they were to actually listen to me, which I have no expectations about that. It's, pretty boring shit anyway. It's not very interesting. It's not going to help you in your life. It's just my own thoughts and ponderings. And it's a process to sort of like get it all out of my head. And it does not feel like I'm ever going to be able to move on from it. But who knows, right? Who knows what'll happen? And part of the reason is because it is such a mind fuck. So much of it. So when I'm sitting there working and I'm like, been working for an hour and a half or whatever, and then like I just start randomly, like I'm listening to stuff at the same time and like listening to all this like, whatever, positive, blah, 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 motivational speaking books and things like that. And yet in the background, these little wheels are turning and starting to churn out as I'm entering in more, positive, whatever. I'm like more confusions sort of start to unravel and manifest or as a phenomena or whatever. And it is what it is. What was I gonna say again? I'm not sure how to start this, but it's wrong to make someone else wrong for missing someone or missing you. Grant was telling me that, when I was telling him I was basically like really messed up over missing him so much, that I was just making him, he basically labeled me with this something of, you just are making someone else, the sole responsibility for your happiness. And actually, it's not like that at all. But he is the reason that things are wrong with me at the moment. That's the only thing. Like, that's literally the only thing right now that bothers me, or makes me sad, or confused, or upset, or angry, or feel any sort of negativity within myself, um, or any sort of doubt about myself, stems from uh, the fact that I've missed him so much, and um, that's, you know, that can't be helped. You know, that's like, it's like, so what? You know, like, why would you get upset with someone for missing someone and feeling bad because of it, and having a hard time because of it? You know, why would you try to make them wrong for that? That's dumb. And then, you know, sort of slap them with this label of like, oh, you just make someone else completely responsible for your happiness. So just to make, you know, like, just to make himself feel better about himself or something. um, yeah, that's wrong. It's not that there's nothing else in life that I like or that makes me happy or whatever, but it's not incorrect to say that some of the most joyful moments I had were in his presence, and were when we were helping each other. I think that was one of my most favorite things was, you know, if he would let me help him with something, and when he would get really intentional and really, like, want to help me with something, and, you know, share his heartfelt words about something, whether it was related to business or finance or people or communication or emotions or what he thought about stuff. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the times when we could just make fun of each other and just sort of laugh and joke and be whimsical and be flippant and nonchalant and not serious, and just have fun talking to each other. So, you know, all those things were very real, and to just suddenly take that away, making me feel robbed of those, of that, uh, you know, communication and care and love, um, and then to fault someone for feeling sad about it, or to say or to suggest that they're like, oh, you should really just learn to not make someone the sole responsibility for your happiness. That's ridiculous. When you know quite well, like, those were shared experiences, those were shared feelings, those were shared So it's a bit ridiculous to evaluate that. Uh, that's like totally the wrong angle to look at it from. But yeah, if someone placed a lot of importance on you, or put a lot of um, uh, effort or just a lot of thoughtfulness into um, a a relationship or a friendship or a bond or a connection or whatever, um, it's not right to just blame them for, well, you just have this bad habit of making one person responsible for your happiness. No, but it is true that um, he made me very happy. And some of my most happiest moments were when we were just together and there was we weren't thinking about the problem of how to close the distance. We weren't thinking about that. We were just being. We were just ising together. And I suppose he gradually, just shut down on that because he couldn't see a solution. But yeah, I just wanted to comment on that whole like, oh yeah, don't think of me as your only source of happiness. Go be happy somewhere else. That's pretty mean. That's really rude. And I don't agree with that at all. It's like the wrong way to look at it. And yeah, wrong, Betty. And yeah, it's like, okay, fine. So someone's in a lot of pain because you withdrew from them after 6 years, and gave some hope of making it all work out and making it all happen and stuff like that, and then withdrew that again. So yeah, it's pretty painful, especially since um, you know you were my person, and that's not something that I take lightly. And it's you know when you're with somebody, you would hope that they care about you, you know um, in your good times and bad, you know but like I just said, the only thing wrong with me was missing him. That's it. That's literally it. And yeah, there were a couple other things I went through last year. Last year when I was moving, and let's see, that was a challenge. And then I went through looking for another job for quite some time. I sent out hundreds of resumes. For several months, I was looking for another job. And so that was pretty hard. I was, you know, I didn't complain too often to him about it. But it was hard. I was really freaked out about how to get by. And I finally did get another job, and which I really love. I really like, and really like the people that I work with. And it's taken me several months actually to sort of like recuperate from that time period and sort of get back on my feet. Up until like maybe a month and a half ago, even, I was still doing house cleaning and odd jobs like that just to try to get by and pay the bills and, you know, pay rent and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, living expenses are, yeah, it's no joke, you know, it's like, whoa. Anyway, but I'm getting on my feet and stuff like that. Um, and then I had a little bit of, you know, whatever. There was a court case I had to go through with my kid's dad, and that eventually got sorted out and resolved. And but I didn't really complain too much about it. Yeah, the main issue is the fact that I missed him, and that's like literally the only thing that damages my energy. Otherwise, I'm on fire. You know, I'm generally a pretty confident, go-getter type of, um, yeah, you know, happy-go-lucky, this positive, you know, everything can work out and everything's going to be okay, and just do the actions that are necessary and yada yada. And, you know, um, I'm generally, like most of the time, very, very much like that. Very free spirited and, you know, playful, goofy. Um, I like intelligent conversations. Um, but yeah, so it's like to say that, well, you know, I just can't deal with you missing me. Well, tough shit. Um, anyway, I just wanted to make a mention of that because, like, it doesn't mean that I'm a, you know, this person who's like you can love somebody, but it doesn't mean like you don't love anything else in life, or that nothing else, you don't enjoy doing anything else or anything like that, you know? Like, that's ridiculous. Duh. Um, but yeah, I would say that, yeah, pretty much anytime I get sad or anything, lately anyway, um, it's just due to missing him. And it certainly feels like that's never going to go away. Welcome to the rest of your life, lovely little Annie. Yeah, it's like, well, do I go, was was he really just love bombing me in the beginning and just like, you know, telling me that he loved me more than anybody else he'd ever loved, and that I was this special person, telling me that he loved me, and um, you know, how I was the only one for him, how I was the only one that he could think of, um, and then just, you know, gradually breaking away from that. Is that, I don't know, you know, I first noticed it when, or last year, I casually asked him about, like, you know, when you get aroused, do you think of me or do you think of other people? Like, do you think of me? You know? And he said, yeah, most of the time. Sometimes it's just that I just want to, you know, do that. And that's when I first thought, like, So if someone else was there, then he would, or like he's thought of sleeping with other people or something like that. And this is while we were still together. And I appreciated him being honest with me. That's the main thing. Like, I'd much rather him be honest with me than not, than, lie to me about it. But the fact is that, uh, you know, if you're, I don't know, willing to sleep with other people, or wanting to, or thinking of other people while you're conceivably basically still, with someone, it's not 100% faithful, like I can't even imagine myself showing myself to another man, giving myself to another man. I can't even conceive of that. My loyalty, well, lies somewhere else, but it's I guess the concept of that has been destroyed, but for now, um um but yeah, like I couldn't even think of doing that. So what else? Because it just doesn't feel real. It just doesn't feel, um, I never thought he'd want other people. In fact, he told me, yeah, I'm not going to go chasing skirts with someone else, while you're not around. So don't worry. Um, anyway, I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm not interested in anybody else. So yeah, I'm just interested in achieving my goals right now. Getting myself to a point to where I'm like even functioning properly, and getting my health and my body back in shape, and making progress on my actual goals. Um, so that's what I'm doing. Um, I don't even, even when I was still married, I was like, yeah, I would never, like, I just don't date. Like, I just don't, like, even before I was married and I was single, like, I don't, I don't get asked out on dates. Like, I'm just like not the dating type of person. And I only had one other long-term relationship before that. It was with douchebag. Um, I haven't seen him in like 20 years. But yeah, it's like it was stupid. Um, um, but he was a mutual friend. And again, I got married to a guy who, like, we had mutual friends. Um, anyway, and I don't really, like, I just don't, yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's just, yeah, it's just not going to happen for me. So I, it's not like I despise men, um, but I just don't, you know, I just, I suppose he knows like he can just get anyone he wants, you know. He's got this charisma about him. He can turn on the charms and be really flirty and, um, you know, really friendly and nice and stuff like that. And I'm sure he can get whoever he wants. I don't want to just get some Tom, Dick, or Harry. I really want that, though, all that it was, to have it be like that again and just live life as normal and just, I want that quality of feeling how easy it was to, I mean, yeah, sure, okay, there's no relationship that's without disagreements and stuff, but generally we didn't fight. The only thing we ever had emotional upsets over was the fact of how can we put our lives together and trying to work that out, and then disappointment, and then try again, and then fail, and then try again, and then fail, and then try again, and fail. And so anyway, but I want all that, but I want it to last, like no matter what, I want it to last, and to be real, and still go out on dates with each other years later after you like living together and just living your lives. And he once told me that, oh, maybe it was just the novelty of things, that initial dating phase of whatever. And that lasted, a couple of years. The initial bliss, blissfulness. Um, and then he just sort of started to slowly give up on it and told me he didn't love me anymore. And well, nothing is ever all that it seems, right? Nothing is ever as great as it seems. Nothing is ever as bad as it seems. Um, but yeah, the only thing that's wrong with me is him. And that's probably not going to change. Unfortunately, I can't go back in time and erase everything. And I don't even care to, I wouldn't even care to do that. I'm thankful for all the time we had together and how it improved my life when we were together and when we were really on. Now there's just sort of like a dull void. There's just sort of like an empty hole. Where he once was. And, if you're going to make me wrong for that, or tell me that I shouldn't feel that way, or just get over it, or just move on, or just, or that I shouldn't feel that way, don't be such an insensitive pig. What we had was something so beautiful and so wonderful. And I will never lie to myself about it. And I will never lie to anybody else about it. And I'm not going to pretend it didn't exist. And I'm not going to pretend that he doesn't exist. And I'm not going to pretend that somewhere in some alternate reality, there we are, living our lives together, having a grand old time, old farts together, getting along swimmingly, succeeding, enjoying life together without any problems. I'm not going to pretend that doesn't exist somewhere. So, see you later.